One thing became clear: nothing would be simple again. The resolution began unexpectedly during a tense midnight meeting in Unji's farmhouse kitchen. Government representatives, scientific experts, and HFY's recovery team sat around a simple wooden table that had witnessed generations of family discussions, now hosting the most important conversation in human history. HFY proposed a groundbreaking solution. Instead of a traditional diplomatic exchange, the alien suggested transforming Unji's farm into an official first contact research center. The farm would become a neutral ground where human and alien cultures could learn from each other. Dr. Rodriguez was the first to understand the brilliance of the proposal. The farm's isolation, its existing infrastructure, and Unji's natural ability to manage complex systems made it perfect for a diplomatic transition zone. The military initially resisted. Satellite images, security protocols, and potential global implications created layers of complexity. But HFY's civilization offered technological exchanges that were too valuable to ignore: advanced medical technologies, sustainable energy solutions, and communication systems that could revolutionize human understanding. Unji found herself at the center of this extraordinary transformation. Her wheat fields would now grow something more significant than crops. They would cultivate understanding between two civilizations. The recovery team's spacecraft slowly descended, its living technology integrating with the farm's existing structures. Solar panels transformed, communication towers emerged, and research facilities grew like organic extensions of the existing farmhouse. Local Kansas residents were initially confused. Strange lights, unusual technology, and increased government presence created local rumors. But Unji's reputation as a reliable community member helped manage potential tensions. HFY explained that their civilization had been observing humanity for centuries. This unexpected interaction was not a random event, but a carefully calculated cultural exchange. The alien species believed in gentle, gradual introduction of advanced technologies. Within months, the farm became a unique research center. Scientists from around the world came to study the unprecedented collaboration. Farmers learned about advanced agricultural technologies. Medical researchers gained insights into alien healing techniques. The marriage contract, which had initially seemed bizarre, became a symbolic bridge between civilizations. Unji was not just a farmer anymore, but a diplomatic representative of a new form of interstellar understanding. Her family's wheat farm, which had survived generations of challenges, now faced its most extraordinary transformation. The golden fields continued to grow, now monitored by advanced alien technologies that could predict crop yields with unprecedented accuracy. HFY remained a constant presence, its skin continuing to communicate complex emotional and strategic information. The alien had become more than a visitor; it was now a partner in humanity's greatest adventure. Government protocols slowly adapted. What had begun as a potential conflict transformed into a collaborative exploration of mutual understanding. The farm became a symbol of peaceful first contact, proving that compassion could bridge even the most extraordinary differences. Local Kansas newspapers struggled to describe the changes. Headlines like "Farmer Leads Alien Diplomatic Mission" became common. Unji's quiet life had become anything but ordinary. The recovery team gradually integrated their technologies with human systems. Communication barriers broke down. Cultural exchanges became more fluid. What seemed impossible months ago now felt natural. As seasons changed, the wheat fields continued to grow. But now, they were more than just a source of food. They were a living testament to the possibility of understanding, of reaching beyond known boundaries. HFY often reflected on the unexpected journey. A simple act of rescue had transformed into a civilization-changing moment. The alien skin would pulse with colors representing gratitude, wonder, and the complex emotions of first contact. Unji sometimes stood on her farmhouse porch, looking at the transformed landscape. The wheat fields, her family's legacy, had become something more. They were now a bridge between worlds, a symbol of unexpected connection. The universe, it seemed, had more surprises than anyone could imagine. In the golden wheat fields of rural Kansas, Unji Park walked her land with the quiet confidence of a farmer who knew every inch of her inheritance. The morning sun cast long shadows across the rippling golden waves of wheat, creating a landscape that seemed to breathe with silent promise. Her boots crunched against the dry earth, each step measured and purposeful. Unji's family had worked this land for 3 generations, transforming what was once barren ground into a thriving wheat farm. At 32, she had inherited not just the land, but a deep understanding of its rhythms and secrets. The day started like any other. A cool breeze swept across the fields, carrying the faint scent of distant rain and fresh earth. Unji carried her usual tools, a small water canteen, pruning shears, and a handheld electronic device for monitoring crop health. Something unusual caught her eye near the old oak tree at the field's edge. A metallic glint reflected the morning sunlight, something that didn't belong in the natural landscape. Curious, she changed her walking path, moving closer to investigate. As she approached, the strange object became more distinct. It wasn't just a piece of metal, but something that seemed almost alive. A small form lay partially hidden among the wheat stalks, its surface shifting with colors that seemed impossible in nature. Unji hesitated. Years of farming had taught her to be cautious, but her natural compassion urged her forward. She knelt down, carefully pushing aside the wheat stalks. The creature was unlike anything she had ever seen. About the size of a large house cat, it had skin that seemed to change color with each subtle movement. Its breathing was shallow, almost mechanical, yet distinctly organic. Intricate patterns resembling delicate circuitry ran across its surface, giving it an appearance that was both technological and biological. Multiple small appendages surrounded its central form, each looking like a hybrid between a tentacle and a sophisticated sensor. The creature wasn't bleeding, but it was clearly injured. Its movements were weak, sporadic, something had happened to it. A meteorite impact, perhaps? Unji recalled hearing about a strange astronomical event just 2 nights ago. Local news had mentioned an unidentified object streaking across the Kansas sky, but nothing had been confirmed. The creature's eyes, if they could be called eyes, were large, multifaceted structures that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They moved, tracking her movements with an intelligence that was both fascinating and slightly unnerving. Unji's farming instincts kicked in. Whatever this was, it was alive and needed help. She carefully removed her lightweight jacket, a soft green piece that had been her companion through many long days in the fields. With gentle movements, she wrapped the creature, careful not to apply too much pressure. Its skin felt warm, but not like any animal heat she had experienced before. It was a controlled warmth, almost like an advanced piece of machinery maintaining its own temperature. The creature made no sound of protest. Instead, it seemed to settle into her jacket, its color shifting to match the green fabric, a remarkable camouflage technique that spoke of advanced biological adaptation. Unji lifted the bundle carefully, cradling it against her body. Her farm was about a quarter-mile away, and she wanted to ensure the creature remained stable during the short journey. As she walked, her mind raced with questions. What was this thing? Where did it come from? The scientific part of her brain wanted answers, but her immediate concern was preservation and care. Her farmhouse came into view, a modest 2-story structure that had weathered countless Kansas seasons. White paint slightly faded, green shutters hanging a bit askew, it was a testament to resilience and careful maintenance. Little did Unji know that this moment, this simple act of picking up an unknown, injured creature, would mark the beginning of an adventure that would change not just her life, but potentially the understanding of humanity's place in the universe. The wheat fields continued to sway, indifferent to the extraordinary moment unfolding within their golden-embraced eye in the quiet farmhouse kitchen. Unji carefully placed the wrapped creature on a soft towel near the warm wood stove. The creature remained motionless, its skin continuing to shift colors like a living, breathing chameleon. 3 days had passed since its discovery, and Unji had been tending to it with a mixture of scientific curiosity and genuine care. She had set up a makeshift recovery area, complete with a small heating pad and a humidifier to maintain optimal conditions. Her veterinary books lay scattered nearby, though none of them offered any guidance for an organism so clearly not from Earth. On the morning of the 4th day, something changed. The creature's multifaceted eyes began to pulse with a soft, rhythmic light. Its appendages moved with more purpose, no longer weak and sporadic. Unji was preparing morning coffee when she heard it. A sound. Not a noise, but a precise, clear vocalization. I am HFY, the creature said, speaking perfect Korean. The coffee pot slipped from her hands, shattering against the tile floor. She spun around, heart racing, eyes wide with disbelief. The creature continued, seemingly unperturbed by her shock. I am a diplomatic representative from the Celestial Confederation, and you have saved my life. Its voice was melodic, almost musical, with a tone that suggested both intelligence and surprising warmth. The words emerged not from a mouth, for the creature had none, but seemed to resonate directly into the room. Eunji's farming background had prepared her for unexpected challenges, but nothing could have prepared her for this moment. She took a deep breath, forcing herself to remain calm. You can speak," she managed to say, her voice a whisper. HFY's skin rippled with colors that seemed to communicate emotion, a soft blue suggesting calm, a hint of green indicating curiosity. Communication is fundamental to my species. We adapt quickly. The creature, no, the being, explained its mission. It was part of an exploratory team studying emerging civilizations. Their methods were non-invasive, designed to observe without interference. But something had gone wrong during this particular mission. Our reconnaissance vessel was damaged, HFY said. A solar storm disrupted our navigation systems. I was forced to emergency land in what your geographic systems call Kansas. Eunji's scientific mind began to overcome her initial shock. Questions bubbled up faster than she could process them. Where was HFY from? What did the Celestial Confederation want? How was translation possible? As if reading her thoughts, which might actually be possible, Eunji realized HFY began explaining. The being's species had long ago developed universal translation technologies that worked by interpreting neural patterns in cultural context. Your act of saving me was not just a medical intervention, HFY said. It was a complex social interaction that demonstrated several key characteristics my civilization values. Eunji's farm life had taught her about complex systems, crop rotation, soil chemistry, weather patterns. But this was beyond anything she had ever imagined. An alien, sitting in her kitchen, discussing interstellar diplomacy as casually as she might discuss wheat prices. The morning sunlight filtered through the kitchen window, casting a warm glow on this extraordinary scene. Outside, the wheat fields continued their silent, unchanging dance, unaware of the profound conversation happening within the farmhouse walls. HFY's skin continued to pulse and shift, a living communication system more complex than any technology Eunji had ever seen. And this was just the beginning of a story that would challenge everything she understood about life, the universe, and humanity's place within it. As days passed, Eunji learned more about HFY's extraordinary civilization. The alien being explained that their culture valued compassion as the highest form of intelligence. What seemed like a simple act of rescue was, in their complex social framework, something far more significant. In our society, HFY explained one quiet evening, those who demonstrate extraordinary care are considered potential life partners. Your actions of nursing me back to health have initiated a formal courtship ritual. Eunji nearly choked on her tea. A what? The alien's skin shifted to a blend of deep purple and soft blue colors that seemed to represent a mix of seriousness and emotional depth. By providing shelter, medical care, and consistent attention, you have fulfilled the most sacred requirements of our bonding process. The farmhouse kitchen suddenly felt smaller. Eunji, who had spent most of her life focused on crops and solitary farming, found herself confronted with an impossible situation. An alien was proposing marriage not as a romantic gesture, but as a legal and cultural obligation. HFY produced a holographic document, its light dancing across the kitchen table. The intricate symbols looked like a cross between advanced mathematical equations and beautiful calligraphy. This is our formal marriage contract, the alien explained. It recognizes your compassionate actions as a binding commitment. Eunji's mind raced. She thought about her quiet life, the generations of farmers before her, the predictable rhythm of planting and harvesting. Now, an alien civilization was suggesting she was legally bound to a being she had rescued just weeks ago. But I don't even know you, she protested. HFY's response was matter of fact. In our culture, knowing someone through actions is more meaningful than knowing them through words. You risked your safety to save my life. That is the deepest form of knowing. The holographic document continued to pulse, its light casting strange shadows across the farmhouse kitchen. Outside, the wheat field swayed, seemingly oblivious to the extraordinary conversation happening inside. Eun-ji learned that refusing would not just be a personal rejection, but a significant diplomatic incident. Her rescue of Haiwan had already been recorded by their civilization's complex monitoring systems. A rejection could potentially impact Earth's first official contact with an advanced alien civilization. What exactly does this marriage mean? She asked, her farmer's practicality breaking through her shock. Haiwan explained it was more of a diplomatic partnership. No physical intimacy was expected, but they would be legally recognized as a unified social unit. The alien would help protect Earth's interests, and Eun-ji would be considered a representative of their civilization. Her life of quiet farming had prepared her for unexpected challenges, crop failures, sudden storms, equipment breakdowns. But this was beyond anything she could have imagined. The holographic document continued to hover, waiting for a response. Its light seemed to pulse with an almost living quality, representing centuries of alien cultural complexity. Eun-ji took a deep breath. Her decision would not just affect her life, but potentially the entire human understanding of our place in the universe. The wheat fields outside continued to wave, silent witnesses to a moment that would change everything. The black SUVs arrived first, their tinted windows reflecting the golden wheat fields. Government agents moved with practiced efficiency, their dark suits a stark contrast to the rural landscape. Eun-ji watched from her farmhouse porch as men with serious expressions and hidden earpieces surrounded her property. Haiwan remained calm, its skin shifting to a protective metallic gray. They will attempt to understand, the alien said quietly. But understanding is not their primary motivation. Within hours, the farm transformed. Scientific equipment sprouted like strange mechanical plants. Tents appeared. Communication trucks with massive satellite dishes created a temporary base where wheat had grown just days before. Military personnel moved with calculated precision, their boots crushing delicate wheat stalks. Dr. Elizabeth Rodriguez, a top xenobiological researcher, took charge of the investigation. Her reputation for calm analytical thinking preceded her. She approached Eun-ji with a professional smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Miss Park, we need to understand the full context of your interaction," Dr. Rodriguez said, her clipboard holding dozens of detailed questions. Haiwan's civilization wasn't passive. Their recovery mission arrived simultaneously, a sleek spacecraft that appeared more like a living organism than a machine. It hovered silently above the Kansas landscape, its presence creating electromagnetic disturbances that made electronic equipment flicker. The alien recovery team communicated through complex light patterns and quantum signal transmissions. Their intention was clear: retrieve Haiwan and assess the potential diplomatic impact of first contact. Military strategists saw potential threats. Scientific researchers saw unprecedented research opportunities. Diplomatic corps saw a complex international, or rather, interstellar, negotiation. Eun-ji found herself at the center of a potential global incident. Her quiet farm, which had seen generations of wheat cultivation, was now ground zero for humanity's first confirmed alien interaction. Haiwan explained the delicate political landscape. "Our civilization has protocols for first contact. Your actions have created an unexpected scenario. Typically, we observe without direct interaction." The recovery team's signals suggested multiple potential responses. Some advocated immediate extraction. Others wanted comprehensive cultural exchange. A few suggested potential conflict resolution through diplomatic channels. Government communication networks buzzed. Secure lines connected Washington, international research centers, and military installations. Every word, every movement was analyzed, recorded, and debated. Eun-ji's farm became more than a location. It transformed into a diplomatic hot zone, a potential turning point in human understanding of the universe. Haiwan remained calm, explaining that their civilization had encountered numerous emerging species.
Humanity is unique, the alien said.
Your capacity for compassion, combined with your technological potential, makes you extraordinary. Dr. Rodriguez and her team worked tirelessly, conducting non-invasive tests. Blood samples, electromagnetic readings, quantum signal analyses, everything was documented with scientific precision. The wheat continued to grow, indifferent to the extraordinary events unfolding. Stalks swayed in the Kansas wind, a silent backdrop to a moment that would potentially redefine human history. As night fell, the farm glowed with artificial lights. Monitoring equipment hummed. Military personnel maintained a careful perimeter.
Scientists worked in climate-controlled tents.
Eun-ji realized her life would never be the same. A simple act of kindness had transformed her from a quiet farmer to a potential diplomatic bridge between humanity and an advanced alien civilization.
Haiwan's skin pulsed with colors representing complex emotional and strategic calculations.
The alien was simultaneously analyzing potential outcomes, managing diplomatic protocols, and maintaining a connection with its own civilization. The recovery team's spacecraft continued to hover, a silent guardian watching over this unexpected first contact scenario.